the infrastructure of health security that we were pushing in the world, we as Americans and our allies from Western Europe were pushing, was one that imagined that the threat would come from over there, those countries, and then affect us. And that our goal was to keep it at those countries and address it over there. It's essentially a kind of post-colonial mentality that imagines that most of the world is poor, incapable, unskilled, and that we are superior and our scientific expertise will conquer every problem. And then we ended up having the worst epidemic in the entire world when COVID struck. And so we had a construct and a mentality about health security that frankly was a disservice to us when we actually faced this grave challenge. And then, of course, where do we go from there? We go to blaming the country that experienced the first initial shock of this epidemic in China, in Wuhan, and claiming that it was either deliberately made in a laboratory or made as a result of an experiment gone awry that escaped from the laboratory. But one way or another, it becomes yet another part of a much larger fight between the United States and China that encompasses every single aspect of economic and military competition, which we hope does not go to confrontation. And it came at a time when that competition was as raw as it has ever been amid a tariffs war and trade war that was escalating between the United States and China. It couldn't have been worse timing in terms of any hope that there would be a collaboration between the two nations to try and conquer the problem of the emergence of COVID and identify its source. As far as the source goes, I agree with the WHO Independent Commission that the likelihood that it is a laboratory leak incident is a very low probability potential, and that far higher probability is that, like all prior epidemics that we have dealt with, it's a naturally arising problem exacerbated by human behavior and human activities that allowed the virus to spread both within countries and then internationally. And unfortunately, finding its original medial host, that animal or species that was a reservoir for the virus from the bat that it originated in to the human being, at this point, I think will be almost impossible because all mammalian species express ACE2 receptors, which are the receptors this virus latches onto in order to infect cells. And so we now are finding this virus in just about every mammalian species we look at. And in some cases, the mammalian species is getting it from our species, such as zoo animals. So I think we are at a point now where the fight over what are the origins has become a political construct and is no longer a scientific one.